Okay. Hey guys. It is much later than I wanted to film, but that is on me. I did not do this sooner. And I kind of feel bad about that, which ties into our talk on imposter syndrome. So if you don't know, here's a definition by Merriam-Webster's online dictionary. It defines imposter syndrome as a psychological condition that is characterized by persistent doubt concerning one's abilities or accomplishments, accompanied by the fear of being exposed as a fraud, despite evidence of one's ongoing success. Now, this definition is great for understanding what it is, but it doesn't really do the struggle justice. So if you're creative, you probably have dealt with this at least once in your life. And for me, I tend to struggle with this a lot. And it's something that I've been struggling with recently, and that's why I'm doing this video, because I want to address it. And so for me, what it looks like is I am discouraged about my piano skills. I'm discouraged about the book I'm writing, the Portal Fantasy. I doubt my ability to teach piano to my students, and I doubt the quality of the Viking book, Out of the Dark, that I just published. For me, marketing is really, really hard, because marketing is basically saying, this is great, buy my book, you want to read it. And I'm just sitting here going, really? Would they really want to read this? Like, come on, seriously? And so with that's been a huge struggle lately. And also with every YouTube post I do, every blog post I do, I fear what other people think, and I can't help but wonder, what am I doing here? Even recording this, I'm thinking, what am I doing here? Can anything that I say benefit other people? No, I'm not trying to get sympathy or anything like that. I'm just putting this out there. This is real. A bunch of artists, a bunch of writers struggle with this, and this needs to be normalized. And since I'm struggling with it right now, I thought, what better way to get myself out of it than by talking about it? So I'm taking a creative risk here talking about this, but I feel like it's important for me and for other people. So an example for what I mean by imposter syndrome is, let's say someone without it, so a regular person without imposter syndrome, publishes a book. I feel like that's a good example because I just published a book. So a normal person would publish the book, they would have this huge celebration, and they would have all this fun, they would go out and treat themselves, maybe even have a party, invite some friends over, have this huge book launch, and they're like, yay! They pat themselves on the back, and they are allowing themselves to be proud of it. Now someone like me, someone with imposter syndrome, they publish a book, and they downplay their success, they doubt they deserve the book to even be published. They say, like, is this even worth anything? Like, is anyone going to want to read this? And so they might take that and work even harder to prove their worth to themselves or to other people. And so that's what that looks like. I was thinking about this, and I thought another way to put imposter syndrome, another name to call it, is your inner critic. You may have heard of that, and it's actually a good thing to a certain extent. But this is when your inner critic has gone wild. Okay, so it's criticizing every single thing you do. It's like, oh, that's worthless, that's worthless, that's worthless. And it's hurts your progress and stuff, you know? It's not good. So that leads me to a question. Is this healthy? Certainly not. Certainly not. On the other hand, it is hurtful. It's hurtful to you, and it's hurtful to other people because you can't give them your full potential and be able to help them through your work. Does that make sense? It's the evening, so even though my creative brain can be on fire for like 2 hours, my ability to talk just goes downhill. How to string a sentence together, I'm just like, no more. But I hope all this makes sense. I'm following my blog post, so I should be fine. But hopefully you guys can understand me. So I asked, is this healthy? I said, no, it's not. Is it logical? That's a harder question to answer. Maybe it's not, but it certainly feels like it. Every single negative criticism, every hard word, every discouragement, every drop in the social numbers, even now that I'm a published author and I'm trying to get this channel going. Everything like that affirms, yes, I am not enough. My skills are not what they should be. And there's no way that I'll be able to get there. If you're a creative person, like I said, you've probably felt this sometime before. And you don't need to be a writer to experience this. You could be a painter, a crafter, a woodworker. You could be a dancer, an actor, anything that involves creative outlet, self-expression. You've probably felt this. Most definitely you've felt this at some point. I don't want to say everyone in the creative world has felt this, because there could be that one person. So I'm not saying it, but it's pretty likely, I feel like. So, let me see, where was I? Yeah, you probably felt yourself feeling that you're not enough, that no amount of skill that you have is enough. Everyone hates you. No one wants anything to do with you. No one will ever want anything to do with you. This is rock bottom, like worst case scenario, imposter syndrome right there. That's what that is. So I fall into this trap many times. So because of this, and because of how damaging it is, it's important to overcome this struggle. So this is the result of a wrong view of yourself. Now, I didn't get into this in my blog post, but I learned recently that looking down on yourself is a form of pride. I can't really explain it right now because of how my brain is not really functioning, but it's basically like, yeah, I can't explain it, but it is a sin to be in this situation. That's also why it's really important to get out of this. It's a sin, because if you are using the gifts that God made you with, if you are following the calling that God has for you, you will not be enough, but He is. And this is a lack of trust in Him. So this is really important to get out of. In the post, and what I'm going to go over is talking about how you need to think through your own skills, and yes, I am capable of doing this, but also bear in mind that when it comes down to it, we are not enough, but we follow the one who is enough, like more than enough, and makes us more than enough. So bear that in mind, okay? So I want to ask again, is this logical? No, seriously, is it logical right now? So you need to think about what you have accomplished and what your skills are. So as an example, for me, I've been playing piano for 14 years, studying it really hard for 14 years, and teaching it for 6 or 7 years. I've been writing for 7 years. I wrote 6 books and am working on my 7th. I've been studying the writing craft for almost 3 years, very intensively, trying to learn all I can. This is not boasting. This is stating the plain facts. My goal in stating that is to show you how you can analyze your own accomplishments and stuff in order to see what your skill set looks like in true perspective. So, when I look at those numbers and stuff, part of me is like, look what I've done. That's more work than a lot of people will do in my field. Like, people who are not writers will dabble in writing a little bit. They won't finish a book, maybe they will, but they won't publish a book. They won't finish 7, 6 or 7. So part of me is like, yeah, keep going, girl. But most of me, I gotta admit, almost all of me right now is saying, other people have done more than you. That is very minuscule compared to other people. That is not enough. So if you're also feeling this way, ask this. Have you learned anything since when you first started? Hopefully the answer is yes. Congratulations, you have learned something. And because you have learned something, you should be able to teach other people. You have something to offer other people. And you and I might ask, okay, well then, well, that doesn't amount to anything. Still, well, this might be of interest to you. Did you know that Albert Einstein also struggled with imposter syndrome? Yeah, he thought that his discoveries, even discovering a whole new field of, what was it, science, math? I can never keep it straight. A whole new field, he discovered that. And yet he was like, oh yeah, that doesn't deserve credit. That doesn't deserve all the attention it got. He struggled with that too. And so if him and all these other amazing brains out there felt that way, we are going to feel that way because we're nowhere near their level, but they still felt that way. So it doesn't matter how much you know or don't know, you're still going to feel that way. And so I just thought that was really interesting. Now, what doesn't matter is how much you know and all that stuff. It's the right mindset. So there's this saying that goes something like, the artist is his worst critic, something like that. So what matters is why you do what you do. What is your goal? And once you find that goal, pursue whatever you're doing, no matter the obstacles, no matter what you think, because that is your goal. Your goal is not to please everybody, because you won't. There will always be critics, but that doesn't matter as long as you're putting your heart and soul into your work. And so my goal is to help others while also helping myself. My hope is that my writing and music impact people and touches people's lives for the better. And so only you can tell that story, write that music, paint that painting. Yeah, it's been done before. Like, I just published a Viking book. There's tons of books about Vikings that have been done. But only you can tell that story because it's told through your worldview, your personality, your emotions, your experiences. Only you can bring what you bring to others. And I just think that's remarkable. So, another mindset we need to bear in mind is that nothing will be perfect. Yeah, even the masters couldn't produce perfection, but we can watch out for the little mistakes that we are capable of fixing. We should certainly do that. If you can get rid of all the typos in your book, great. Do that. Fix grammatical errors. Keep your brushes nice and clean and in good order. Things like that. Things within our power we should do. Within our skill set we should do that. But we shouldn't expect perfection. We shouldn't be perfectionists. We should strive for perfection, but realize that we're gonna fall short of that. And you can always improve. One thing that's really cool about creative careers is that we're always growing. If our skills and tastes and interests aren't always evolving, shifting, changing, improving, and taking shape, our work is going to grow stagnant, and it will not come to anything. So we need to keep taking those risks and stuff. There will be setbacks and failures, but our mindset about those failures will turn them into success. If we can learn something from our failures, they're not failures, they are wins. And something that I've noticed about my own creative journey in both writing and music is that the more I learn, the more I know that I don't know. The more I feel like a beginner, and that's okay. And we should keep in mind that we have room to grow and learn, because otherwise we'll stop learning, and like I said, our craft will become stagnant. And so don't focus on what you don't know, focus on what you do know and what you can offer to other people. And I guarantee that you'll have at least one thing that you can teach other people. Like for myself, I've written 6 books. Like there should be something in there that I can teach others, and that's what I share on this blog. And I've done piano for all those years. I should have something to teach younger students. I can't go and teach like college level students because I haven't even gone to college for music. But that's okay. I don't need to have that level. I only need to be able to teach them, teach the students that I have. And so that's my responsibility. I don't have to have all the knowledge in the world, even though that would be nice, but I think my brain would explode. So, yeah. So, there is something to the title Imposter Syndrome, because honestly, that could be true. Because the arts are very exposing. What we create stems from our inner being, warts and all, as Cromwell said. Our struggles, our victories, our pains and joys, even our deepest inner self that even we don't want to see. All that comes out in what we create in our creative journey, in our creative career. So naturally, putting it out in a form of art will make you feel vulnerable. And when people dislike your work, in a sense, they're not disliking just your work, they also dislike you. And that hurts. And so, because of that, we might want to cover up and truly be an imposter. And in order to do that, we're not honest in our craft. For me, that looks like skirting around a topic, not diving deep enough into raw emotions, those really deep emotions from hurt and pain, things like that. Not letting true humanity shine through my work. So they're all cardboard characters. They're not true flesh and blood characters. And whenever I try to turn them into real human beings, it takes a lot of honesty and self-searching, and it is really vulnerable putting that on the page. So when we stay safe and we're not honest in our work, it makes us feel safe, yes, but it hurts our work. Because at the core, the arts are about self-expression. They are self-expression at play. And people will sense when we're not being honest. There's a quote by Aristotle that kind of hits on this. He said, "The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. So I believe that we cannot represent the inward significance of things if we're not honest. So that was a lot, I know, guys. But before I go, I'm going to share a few quotes with you guys, because I know personally when I am thinking through a topic, I like to find quotes that hit what I'm thinking. So I'll go ahead and read a few. I don't know how many I have. How many do I have? 1, 2. I printed these weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I got 5. I was tired today. Look how I printed this. Seriously. I wanted to print it like that, but it came out like that. Can this be explained? I don't know, guys. But on with the quotes. First one. Creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep. Scott Adams. If you hear a voice within you say, "You cannot paint," then by all means paint, and that voice will be silenced. Vincent van Gogh. I love that guy. Art enables us to find ourselves and lose ourselves at the same time. Thomas Merton. The true work of art is but a shadow of divine perfection. Michelangelo. The best art is about individualism, free self-expression, and realizing a unique, imaginative perspective. A true artist takes no notice whatsoever of the public. The public are to him non-existent. Oscar Wilde. The writer must believe that what he is doing is the most important thing in the world, and he must hold to this illusion even when he knows it is not true. John Steinbeck. So, I hope this has helped you guys. If you are also struggling with imposter syndrome or a wild self-critic, writing about it, talking about it has made me fired up, and I really want to get back to writing. So I will do that right after this video is done. So I'll leave you with this one last thing. I don't think this is talked about enough. This topic should be discussed more so that people like you, like me, are encouraged, and so we know, yes, this is normal, but it doesn't need to stay that way. And it shouldn't either. Because, honestly, this struggle is very isolating. We think we're not helpful, we're not useful, we're not meaningful, and that isolates us from everyone else, but we shouldn't be. We should be united with other creative people, and we should be united with our God, who gives us these abilities and these, with these desires to create beautiful works of art, which should be for His glory and for the good of other people. I'm gonna cry. I'm sorry, guys. So what you need to remember, what I need to remember, is that you and you have something that other people do not have. And you need to go share that. Go share that with other people. Don't be afraid. You are enough. Give what other people have to offer. My phone is on low battery mode now. So, hope you guys have a blessed creative day, and I will see you next time. I'm gonna go do some writing now. Bye.